Yo, what's good? What's good? It's your man 100 grand Ross with The Rock Never Stops. And today, I've got to print a retraction. Today, I've got to give some props to the Minnesota Timberwolves because they just did what I thought that they were never going to be able to do: beat a real team in a crunch situation where everything mattered. Everything I thought was going to happen didn't happen outside of Karl Anthony Towns crumbling. But I did not foresee the Minnesota Timberwolves being the tougher team, the more tough minded, the more athletic, the more physical and determined team to pull out this game. I always say this, I don't mind being wrong. I don't think I'm wrong most of the time. So when I am, hey, it's a cool moment to catch an anomaly, to catch a moment, fragment, a spark, this moment in time where I miss. And, of course, I'm joking. I get stuff wrong all the time. But in this situation, this actually calls for me to do something a little bit bigger. I'm going to give props where props is due. And I got to start with, first and foremost, my man Anthony Edwards. Ant-Man is a star. He has arrived. These are the games, these are the moments that build careers, that begin to create legacies. This was a game where the Minnesota Timberwolves' worst outlook was beginning to happen. Karl Anthony Towns was crumbling. He wasn't stepping up. He was failing to be the superstar that many people think he is, failing really to even play like the star that we at least expected him to be. And yet, you see Anthony Edwards take this game by the reins from the very beginning. Extremely aggressive, attacking the rim, getting to the free throw line, hitting his threes, playing under control, playing great defense, great effort from beginning to end, mentally focused, making great plays. He was the star of this show. Now, I can't mention him without also giving respect and props to one Patrick Beverley. Patrick Beverley, he is the heartbeat of this team. He's the heartbeat. He is that guy whose energy, infectious, competitive, gritty energy elevates everyone's play. He is the Minnesota Timberwolves version of Draymond Green. Draymond's energy is so infectious that it actually enhances the play of those around him. And Patrick Beverley was able to do that for this team. He was able to invigorate a bench, to go hard defensively. Jaden McDaniels was terrific playing against Paul George, using his 6'10" size and length to be able to keep him somewhat contained, cutting off driving lanes, contesting shots, pull-ups at the rim, and then also getting out in transition. Jaden McDaniels was a big factor off the bench. But even more so, Naz Reid, who was a plus 17 in this game, shot 3 of 7 from the field. But most importantly, it was his energy that when Karl Anthony Towns went down, this team did not slow down. As a matter of fact, they actually sped up. They actually played at a higher level when Karl Anthony Towns sat down on the bench and eventually fouled out. This is something that I would have never expected to happen. I had totally and completely underestimated the development of the rest of this team. I stayed purely focused on D'Angelo Russell and Karl Anthony Towns, and I said I don't believe in those two. And for the most part, I probably still don't. Even though D'Angelo Russell had a great game, 29 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, this was a game that he needed for his own legacy. For his own legacy. D'Angelo Russell made a moment for himself. he made a statement that said, "No, I'm still here. I'm still one of the best point guards in the NBA." And he's going to get another opportunity to try to prove that against John Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies. But back to this video, back to this one, which is about giving praise to this team. They grinded this out. They hung around. They stuck in there. They didn't lose faith in who they were, in their identity, in who they were as a team. They didn't do what they call letting go of the rope, where they stop trying, where they give in to the other team. This veteran team that's been there, that has almost reached the mountaintop, got to the Western Conference Finals only last season. Now, granted, they're in a great situation playing at home. This team plays so much better at home, and that's a beautiful thing. But for each and every one of these guys to step up and to play one of their best games of the season, Malik Beasley, 12 points off the bench, 6 rebounds, a block, 50% from the field, 43% from three. I mean, these are the type of games that were absolutely imperative that the team needed to have in order to have a chance. And that's precisely what they did. Chris Finch has to be given all the props in the world. He prepared these guys, he had them ready, and they executed. He's done a great job of creating a team identity and culture there. Now, the culture will play out over years, and we'll see if it remains. But the identity, following behind Patrick Beverley's grit and tenacity, they fought every step of the way, and it paid off. It completely paid off. I'm really interested to see how Anthony Edwards continues in these playoffs, because he might have to continue to put up games like this for the Minnesota Timberwolves to have a chance. They're not going to have home court advantage. They're going to have to go up against a team that is just as hungry, if not hungrier, that's rested. And let's be clear, Reggie Jackson is no John Morant. Is definitely no John Morant. And so when you look at this team, you can only appreciate what these players have brought to the table. You only have to look not just at the box score, but also in just how they approached the game in this game. They didn't look scared. They didn't look timid. They didn't look worried. They didn't look like they didn't know what to do. There was no uncertainty. They understood their roles that they've been playing in all season. They understood what got them here to this point, and they doubled down on it. They trusted it. They said, you know what? If we're going to go down, we're going to go down playing our way. But they didn't go down. They actually won. They pulled this game out. Paul George had to do a little bit too much tonight, and he wasn't quite ready physically. I don't think the Los Angeles Clippers were ready mentally for this team to hang in there with them the way that they did. And eventually, the grit and the tenacity of this young Minnesota Timberwolves team won out. I love what I see from this team. I'm happy that they're able to make it into the playoffs and prove me wrong. Now, they still got to do some work in these playoffs. They got to give me 2 games. If they get gentleman sweep, I'm going to be like, okay. If they're out in 4 to 5 games, I'm going to be like, okay. Maybe it was an aberration. Maybe it was more about the Clippers having a bad game than it was about Minnesota having a good game. But that's to be seen. For now, all I can say is, I applaud you, Minnesota. You took care of business. You took care of that home court advantage. You made the most of it, and you're in. You're in. Towns, you're going to have to do better. But let me know what y'all think. I'm going to holler at y'all next time. Peace.